Afades and buenas todos, Hamzu. We are here today to present a resolution number 23-35. And with me today, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Speaker, Tina Munya Barnes, Sharon Runyon, who's the president of the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation, and Johan Heemskert, who's a patron of the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation. We have also Tony Ramirez, Malia, Rolanda Faso Malay from the Guam International Airport, and my colleague, Senator James Moylan. We are here today to present resolution number 23-35, introduced by myself, which is relative to posthumously recognizing the late Mr. Lafayette Ronald Hubbard for his contributions towards the preservation of Chamorro culture, and to commending the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation for establishing a permanent venue for the exhibition of the works of Mr. Ron Hubbard. Be it resolved by the Committee on Rules of Iminat 35 na Legislatura en Guahan, whereas it is the sense of Legislatura en Guahan to recognize those individuals whose work has had a significant impact on the heritage, arts, and culture of our community. And may I ask Senator Moylan to assist me, please?
Whereas attendant to such concerns, and in the full accord of this long-standing tradition, the Legislature of Guam is justly proud to recognize the contributions of Mr. Lafayette Ronald Hubbard toward the preservation of the Chamorro culture of Guam. And whereas a young man, Mr. L. Ron Hubbard, spent time immersing himself in the island ecology and Chamorro culture of Guam during the period between 1927 and 1929. Mr. Hubbard recorded this period through photographs showcasing the beauty of Guam and the dignity and industry of the Chamorro people. Furthermore, during this time, Mr. Hubbard also worked on Guam's roadways as an engineer, helping to provide newly accessible areas for the community. And whereas Mr. Hubbard further contributed to the early education of our island's residents while serving as a teacher at the Richard P. Leary Elementary School, a pre-war school located near the Plaza de España in Hagåtña. And whereas scholarly studies of these activities indicated that his friendships and keen appreciation of Guam's culture became a foundation for his ethnological study on the many cultures and his lifetime of research to understand the nature of humankind. And whereas since 2006, Mr. Hubbard's photographs have been exhibited to the residents and visitors of Guam to foster pride in our culture and historical legacy. And whereas on the occasion of the 90th year anniversary, Mr. Hubbard's work is now being augmented through the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation in collaboration with the Department of Chamorro Affairs. As a result, collections of these photographs will be permanently displayed at the A.B. Wampat International Airport, greatly assisting in the preservation of Guam's history and culture. Whereas through the use of this historical resource, residents and visitors of Guam will have the opportunity to witness and experience Chamorro life during the late 1920s. Madam Speaker.
Senator Moylan and Senator Torres. Whereas Legislatura en Guahan and the people of Guam take this opportunity to commend and congratulate the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation for its role in establishing a permanent venue for the display of Mr. Hubbard's photographs at the Antonio B. Wampat International Airport. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Committee on Rules of Iminat 35 na Legislatura en Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the Legislatura en Guahan and her people of Guam, recognize the contribution of the late Mr. Lafayette Ronald Hubbard toward the preservation of Chamorro culture, and does further commend and congratulate the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation for establishing a permanent venue for the exhibition of the works of Mr. Hubbard, and be it further resolved that the Speaker and the Chairperson of the Committee on Rules certify and the Legislative Secretary attests to the adoption whereof, and that copies of the same be thereafter transmitted to the respective heads of the following organizations and agencies: the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation, the Antonio B. Wampat International Airport Authority, and the Guam Department of Chamorro Affairs, and to the Honorable Lourdes A. Leon Guerrero, Imagahagan Guahan. Ladies and gentlemen, this was duly and regularly adopted on this 31st day of January 2019. It was signed by myself, Speaker Tina Rose Muñoz Barnes, the Chairperson on Committee on Rules, Senator Regine Bisco Lee, and the Legislative Secretary, Senator Amanda L. Shelton. And I'm truly humbled and honored to give this resolution to Senator Torres to do the official presentation to the Hubbard Foundation. Senator Torres?
And before I do, I want to acknowledge and thank President Sharon Runyon for so gracing us with your presence today here in Guam. I think that many of us don't appreciate the significance of this gift to Guam, and that is the capturing in photographs, one-of-a-kind, rare and precious photographs of a period in Guam's history before the war, from 1927 to 1929, which coincidentally is the time period when my grandparents lived and my parents were born. So it is that section in our history that is truly the era when the greatest generation of Guam lived. And a lot of the pictures perhaps will capture the essence of what went into the fabric that made them so spectacular. Right. And so thank you very much for not only offering and gifting Guam with this rare collection, but for being here today. And the least that I can do is recognize you and the foundation and offer you Undunklu na Sidus Maasi for remembering Guam on this auspicious occasion of the 90th year of L. Ron Hubbard's time when he lived in Guam and captured the photographs. So on behalf of myself, a grateful daughter of that great generation, and all of us, the offspring of that great generation, thank you very much for considering us and for your most generous gift from the L. Ron Hubbard Foundation.
Right.
And with this, I present resolution number 23-35.
Thank you so much.
And may I please ask you to extend a few words, if you will.
Of course. Why don't you do, let's do this part too.
Thank you, Senator Torres. And if I may, we'd like to do another presentation to the Hubbard Foundation. So if I may, Ms. Sharon?
Yes.
And Senator Moylan and Senator Torres, if you can assist me. On behalf of our people of Guam and Mina 35 na legislatura in Guam, we present this beautiful gift as carved by one of our signers, Mr. Titano. We present this gift to you, and again, thank you, and extend our undunklo na si Zeus Masi for literally sharing our history to future generations. And I am so happy that our agency partners are here to accept and to be a part of this official presentation. So again, si Zeus Masi, undunklo na si Zeus Masi, si Zeus unbini DC, Hamzu, and Sainamasi.
Thank you so much, Ms. Speaker and Senators and everyone. This is truly an honor to be part of this celebration, but also to be able to present something from L. Ron Hubbard that so came from his heart. One of the things that was so amazing about these photos is that you see how he perceived the people of this community and the love that he put into these images, where he captured the life and captured exactly what was going on during this time period. One of the other things that was mentioned in the resolution is that he taught school while he was here. And his work in that school affected him many, many years later. The education that he gave to these kids when he was teaching them English and trying to explain what the outside world was like, what a skyscraper was, what a train was, and for them to not have anything to really understand that. And he worked to make it clear to them by drawing pictures. And by putting those pictures together, he was able to communicate the concept of skyscraper or train. Okay, that seems like not a big deal. However, many years later, when he's working on education processes, it came back to the idea of, unless an individual has some sort of understanding of what the thing is, he's not going to be able to learn it. For example, if you're trying to drive a tractor, learn how to drive a tractor, and you don't know what a tractor is, you better get a picture of a tractor or go and see a tractor, or you're just not going to be able to do that. Well, that came from his work originally on Guam. So the study methodology that he developed that is now used in 120 nations around the world with thousands of teachers actually trained on this came from Guam. So his time here was very, very important to the development of this particular program and many other things that happened in his life. This was the starting point of his Asian adventures and his understanding of different cultures. And since that time, of course, Ron's influence is worldwide. The Smithsonian Magazine has called him one of the most influential, one of the 100 most significant Americans of all time. And he reaches millions. So these photos encompass that love of culture, that love of community. But also, I come with the offer to provide his other work. So if there's anything that we can do to help, we are here, we're not going away, and I want to extend a hand to the community to provide these tools and these activities. Thank you so much for this presentation. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we'll do an official
Photo? Sure.
I'll go ahead and move this.
And with that, I'd like to call this resolution presentation to a close. Thank you.